We just came back from a 10-day trip to Italy, and in this video we're gonna break down the perfect itinerary for you to see Venice, Verona, Bologna, Florence and Pisa in just 10 days.
So in this video we're gonna break down exactly what to do each day, how to travel from city to city, and give you some amazing food recommendations so that you can make the most of your Italy trip. Let's get started. This itinerary commences in Venice, where you'll spend your first 2 days. Then we'll travel to Verona to spend another 2 days here. From Verona, we'll move to the Tuscany region to base ourselves in Florence for the rest of the trip. From here, we'll do day trips to Pisa and Bologna. In addition, we'll be giving you the option to spend your last 2 days of the trip by the beach in Rimini.
Day 1, arrive in Venice. You will most likely arrive at the Marco Polo airport, and the best way to get to Venice is by taking the boat. So once you get to the airport, just walk for about 10 minutes by following the signs that say water transport, and you'll eventually get to the docking station. Once you reach the port, you're gonna see that there's 2 options to get to Venice. The first one is by taking a private boat, but this is a little bit pricey and it costs between 150 euros to 200 euros. So if you're a large group, it makes sense. But if you're just 1 or 2 people, we recommend to take the public transport. This is a public boat, also known as the Vaporetto, and it only costs 18 euros per person. The Vaporetto has many different routes around all the islands in Venice, and also it has lots of stops in the San Marco island, which is the one where we recommend that you stay. We stayed at a hotel just 5-minute walk from the main piazza, and it was so charming. We'll leave the link in the description so you can have a look at it. When you're looking for your hotels for your Italy trip, you should check out planning.com, because here you can find and book hotels with up to 40% discount when you create a free account. If you've never heard of Planning, it is a hotel and experience booking platform where you can search and find hotels and experiences and avail from member exclusive discounts. And one thing I really like about Planning is the fact that you can read trusted and verified reviews from travelers just like us. So you can book your hotels on planning.com, and you can book any other tours that you want to do during your trip to Italy, such as a day trip to Verona, which we'll be talking about later in the video. So go create your planning account. You can do it by scanning the QR code here or checking the link in our description. And once you are a planning member, you'll be able to avail from member exclusive discounts of up to 40%. So now going back to the regular schedule. This is your first day in Venice. You will not have that much time. So what we recommend you to do is to go to the Piazza San Marco, have a look around, explore and intake the vibes, go to the Basilica as well, which is right there, and then walk around, see the Bridge of Sighs, go through the beautiful canals, and just take in Venice all at once. If you guys need to grab a quick lunch on your first day, we recommend a takeaway fresh pasta place that is called Dal Moro's. We loved it. If you want to check out our vlog of Venice, we'll leave it right here. Day 2 in Venice. We recommend you to go see the area of the Rialto Bridge. This is one of the most famous bridges, if not the most famous bridge in the whole of Venice. It's most likely going to be absolutely packed, we're not gonna lie. But the views are amazing, the vibes are incredible, and this whole area is very charming. After you've seen the heart of Venice, you're gonna have to choose what other activities you want to do on this day. You could go and do a tour inside of the Doge's Palazzo. You could also take a trip to Murano Island, which is where they confectionate the Murano glass, and you can either do that by yourself, taking the Vaporetto, or you can book a half-day trip. And then of course you have the most famous option of taking a gondola ride. You can also climb the tower in the main piazza, so choose which ones are your favorites and make sure to have some fun. And if you have enough time, we recommend you to go see the Ponte dell'Accademia and to also explore the Basilica Santa Maria della Salute. I think I said that correctly. Don't forget to take your time to explore the canals and just walk around Venice in general. One of the things that we did and we recommend you to do is to walk a little bit further away from the center. You will notice that the energy is a lot calmer, there's a lot less people, and you'll actually find some really good restaurants where you can sit down by the canal, enjoy the views. We'll leave a restaurant that we went to right here, and we 10 out of 10 recommend you to check out this place and the ones around it. Now let's move on to day 3, because this is the day that we leave Venice and you go and take the train
to Verona. You can buy your train tickets online on Trenitalia or Italo, and the journey only takes about an hour and 15 minutes, so it's pretty smooth. You'll obviously want to get some rest once you've arrived, but once you're ready, go prepare and head yourself into the old town.
When you get there, walk to Porta Borsari. This was the old gates, the entrance to the city, and once you get there, you're gonna be able to walk through a pedestrian street, which is very famous, very popular, all the way up to Piazza del Erbe. This is a piazza where you'll be able to find a lot of restaurants, a lot of places to sit, to have a drink, to have an ice cream, to look at the fountain, look at the main tower, and it's just really, really good vibes.
But now it's time for the main activity and probably our favorite spot in the whole of Verona. It's getting close to sunset time, so you're gonna want to go all the way to the edge of the town and walk to Castel San Pietro. You can get up there by taking the funicular for just a couple of euros, and it has the most amazing views of the entire city and of course also a gorgeous sunset.
This was not only our favorite thing to do in the whole of Verona, but honestly one of the best views in the whole of Italy if you ask me. Day 4, discover Verona. We recommend you to start the day by going to the Arena di Verona. This is kind of like a Colosseum, and today what they do is they allow you to go in, explore it, but also they do concerts and opera there. We were so unlucky because we were leaving on the day they were doing the show, but if you have the opportunity to go and book a show and see it, it would be amazing. After you get out of the arena, walk through the commercial street, and that will take you directly to Juliet's house.
Here you'll be able to see Juliet's balcony, and if you want, you can of course also enter the museum. Around this area, there's also so many other piazzas and palazzos that you're gonna want to see from the outside, maybe even potentially go into some places. You can go up the Tower of Lamberti if you want to see the views from up there as well. And of course, you're gonna want to visit the cathedral and the beautiful churches that Verona has to offer.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel because our next video is going to be a guide to what to do in Verona.
So in that video, we'll be going in depth about the fun facts and history of these places, how much they cost, and if we recommend them.
Day 5, travel to Florence. You can take a train that will take you about an hour and a half to get there, and you can book the tickets in the same websites we mentioned before. Once you get to Florence, you will want to try to get some exploring done on the same day, and what we recommend you to do is to go to the main cathedral. Yes, I'm sure you've seen these pictures before. This can take you the whole afternoon depending on whether you want to go inside and see the museum out the back. But don't worry, because you have another full day of exploring Florence.
And that takes us to day 6, where you're going to see so much of this beautiful city. We recommend you to start with the museum where you can see the Michelangelo. However, make sure to book the tickets to this place way in advance. We booked it like a month and a half in advance, I think, and it was still difficult to get tickets. So make sure you do that on the official website. We leave it right here to ensure you have your spot.
Watching the Michelangelo live was something that completely blew my mind, by the way. My expectations were low, and oh my god, it was completely incredible. And if you want to learn about the history of and see the actual video of our reactions and everything, we'll leave it right here.
Next, you're definitely gonna want to head to Ponte Vecchio, which is the main bridge in the city. The views from here are gorgeous with the river passing underneath, looking at both sides of Florence, and it's just a must do.
And around this area, there's so many places where you can eat. There are good views, good vibes. It's obviously gonna be a little bit busy, but this is kind of the most touristic area of Florence in general.
We also recommend to go to a place that's recently gone viral, and it's called Vivoli, where you're going to have the best affogato in the whole of Florence. And it's the best because they use the original gelato, the first gelato ever created in Florence. They put it inside with the coffee and it's just delicious. Oh my god, it's so good. You have to try it.
There's a lot to see in Florence. There are so many basilicas, so many churches, so many historical and cultural spots that you most likely will not have time to see them all, but we'll leave a big list of them right here in the screen so you can take your pick and go inside some of them.
But the spot you definitely cannot miss is the Piazzale Michelangelo at sunset time, because this is the best view spot of the whole of Florence. So sunset comes, you're gonna walk all the way up, or if you don't want to walk, you can also get a taxi and enjoy the beautiful sunset from here.
Day 7, day trip to Bologna. Here you really have two options. You can stay in Florence, which is what we recommend you to do, and do a day trip to Bologna, or actually go there and spend the night. But a train from Florence to Bologna only takes about 40 minutes, so it's a pretty easy ride. We made a video exploring Bologna in one day, and we will leave it right here or in the description, and we definitely recommend this as a must-see place.
But some of the things that you definitely don't want to miss are the Piazza Maggiore, where you're going to find the cathedral and Neptune's fountain. You're going to want to see the two towers and also the Piazza of the Seven Churches. Plus, make sure to go to some good restaurants to try the Bolognese, because obviously Bologna has amazing food, but the Bolognese cannot be missed. On day 8, you have two options. You can either continue your cultural visit through Italy and head to the famous landmark of Pisa, or you can go and spend your last 2 days of Italy by the beach in a coastal area that's not too far away called Rimini.
We decided to go to Rimini because, hey, we love the beach. And we had fun, we were with our friends, but Pisa is also a very, very good option.
We did a whole video about what is Rimini, because you probably haven't even heard of it, so you can go watch it and check if this is a beach destination that you want to go to. Otherwise, Pisa is still a magnificent idea. It's only a 1-hour train ride from Florence, so you can again do it by yourself or book a day tour. So let us know, what are you going to choose? Are you gonna go to Pisa, or are you gonna head to the beach on your last few days in Italy?
And days 9 and 10, if you've decided to go to Rimini, chances are you are spending a couple days by the beach. If you did the day tour to Pisa, well then you have an extra day to spend in Florence. And there's just so much to see in Florence that chances are you have some more time to explore. In the last day, however, it is time for you to head back to the city where your flight departs from. It might be Venice, it might be somewhere else, but it's finito. It's time to head back home.
In our next video, we're going to be telling you the top 10 things to do in Verona, so make sure to subscribe to not miss that, and many other videos about Italy and other travel destinations. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed. Give the video a like if you did, and I guess we will see you
in our next video.